Hello, geometry students. Today we're talking about section 1-3, which talks about distance and midpoint. And when we're talking about a distance on a number line, we're talking about how far A and B are from each other. And so there's a number of ways that you might do it. You might count and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some people might say, well, from -4 to 0 is 4, and then this is 2 more, so it's 6. Or you can use the distance formula, which is the absolute value of the point, maybe A, and then subtract to B. So if you're talking about a distance, so in this situation, I would take a -4 minus -2, and these lines mean absolute value. So a -4 minus -2 is a -6. And absolute value means you're going to take the positive of it, and so that would be +6. So there are a number of ways to find the distance on a number line. Let's take a look at our next example. It says use the coordinate plane to find the distance of KL, given KL is -210 and L is a -4,3. I already have my K and my L plotted. Why don't you pause the video and take a minute and go ahead and plot K and L. Okay, so now we're asked to find the distance. So I want to find out how long KL is, and in this situation I can't count the number of boxes because it's going crossways. And so there's two ways that you can calculate the distance. One way is to make a right triangle and then use your Pythagorean theorem, your a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And so I'm going to show you that example. And that works great if you have a coordinate plane and you can plot your points. If you can't plot your points, then you're going to have to use your distance formula. So I'm going to go ahead. Here's my right triangle, and my A and my B are my legs, and then my C is my hypotenuse. And so if I count, this leg is 2, and if I count up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so I have my two legs, 2 and 7. So I'll take 2 squared and 7 squared should equal KL squared. And so again, I'm communicating my mathematics here. I've written that down. I haven't just punched that into my calculator. I'm going to have 4 plus 49 equals KL squared. I'm going to add my 4 and my 49 together. I'm going to get 53 equals KL squared. Now KL is the line segment, so now I need to get rid of the square. So I'm going to square root both sides. Square and square root are inverse functions and they cancel each other out. So now I'm left with the square root of 53 is KL. Your book will ask you also to round to the hundredths, and I did not get my calculator out here. So you guys go ahead and punch that in your calculator, square root of 53, and then write that down to the hundredths, which would be 2 decimal places. All right, now, if I don't have a coordinate plane, then I need to use what's called the distance formula. And so let me write the distance formula down for you, and that is distance equals square root of, I'm going to write the formula down and then I'll explain it, guys. I'm going to take my x1 minus my x2. Those are the x parts of your ordered pair. I'm going to square them, plus y1 minus y2 squared. So I'm given 2 ordered pairs. So x1 and y1 is the first ordered pair, and then x2 and y2 is the second ordered pair. And so when I go ahead and use my distance formula, one thing that I find helpful, people, is if I stack those ordered pairs on top of each other, So I stack them up on top of each other. Then I can tell these are my x's and they should go together. And these are my y's and they should go together. So when I stack them up, that helps me. So now I'm looking for KL. I'm looking for the distance of KL. I'm going to take my x's and subtract them. So see, I have a -2 minus -4 squared. And so see, if I do it just across like this, sometimes I grab the wrong ones, people. So I do like how I'm stacking them up. And then now I need to do my y's plus my y's subtracted. So I'm going to go 10 minus 3 squared. Now I don't know if you're getting an aha moment here or not, but KL equals square root. So I'm getting -2 plus 4, which is 2 squared. And I don't know if you're catching that or not, but you guys see up here we had 2 squared. That's the length of that leg. So I'm really got Pythagorean theorem going on here, guys. And then 10 minus 3 is 7 squared. And I'm thinking back, oh yeah, it's right here as well. And then I took the square root, didn't I? So I'm doing the square root here. So I've got my KL equals square root of 4 plus 49. And I'm getting my KL to equal square root of 53. And again, I don't have my calculator available, but your book is going to ask you to round that to 2 decimal places or to the hundredths. I'm not going to do this next problem, but if you are interested in doing it on your own, EF equals 5. Let's take a look at the next part of our lesson. It asks us for the definition of the midpoint. If I'm talking about a midpoint from 0 to 4, you guys would tell me that that midpoint would be 2. It's exactly half way, isn't it? And so if I have between 4 and 8, you would say it's 6. And you can probably do those in your head. If you're not able to do those in your head, your midpoint formula is add the 2 and divide by 2. So I could go 4 plus 8 divided by 2. My midpoint is 12 divided by 2, or my midpoint is 6. So when you're looking for the midpoint, it's halfway, it's the average. And so I'm looking at, use the number line to find the coordinate of the midpoint of C, E. So my midpoint would be -4 plus 2 divided by 2. And again, this is your work. You're communicating that mathematics is what you're doing here. And so I'm getting MP to equal -2 over 2, or the midpoint would be -1. And if you wanted to, you could do this, 1, 1, 2, 2, and then find out, oh, it's -1 that way. Takes a little more time. All right, let's take a look at the next example. It says, find the coordinates of the midpoint of EF, where E is -2,6 and F is -9,3. So I'm looking for the midpoint of that line segment. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and plot your EF, and then we'll go ahead and find that midpoint. All right, so now we need to find the midpoint. To find the midpoint of coordinates, what you're going to do, just like on the previous one, you added the 2 numbers and divided by 2. Well, this time you have 2 sets, don't you? You have the x's, and then you have your y's. So to find the midpoint, you're going to add the 2 x's, divide by 2. That's going to get you the x part of the ordered pair. And then you're going to go ahead and add your y's. and divide by 2, and that'll get you your y part of your ordered pair. And again, when I go ahead and do this, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll stack it up. Then that helps me because I'm a visual learner. I can see that those two go together. So when I go to do my midpoint, I'm going to take my -2 plus a -9. I'm going to divide it by 2. And then I'm going to take my y parts. I'm going to add those together. 6 plus 3 divided by 2. So my midpoint is -11 divided by 2, which is a -5.5, and then 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So you can't really guess on that. You're going to have to, you can see here, it's right here in the middle, so it didn't end up being exactly on one of the vertices there. I'm going to go ahead and box in my answer. I'm communicating my mathematics, and once again, I wrote stuff down here, people. I'm communicating my mathematics and explaining how I'm coming up with my final answer. All right. Find the coordinates of the missing endpoint if E is the midpoint of DF, where D is -3, 8, and E is 1, -2. So I've already taken and plotted my ordered pairs. If you could do that as well, that would be great. All right, so now what I'm doing in this situation is I'm looking for the other end is what I'm doing. E is the midpoint, so this is the midpoint. So let's see, where E is the midpoint, and so I could extend it up this way, people. Okay, so we want to extend this line. Here's what we're going to do. Extend that line. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You could use your midpoint formula again, which is your xm and your ym. For the ordered pair, x midpoint, y part of the midpoint, where you take your x1 and your x2 divided by 2, and your y1 and your y2, and divide by 2. You could do it that way. And so if E is the midpoint, you're going to go 1, -2, equals, this is your x1 and this is your y1, so -3 plus x2 divided by 2, and then your y1, -8, plus y2 divided by 2. And then you have to write equations here, people. Here's the x, and this is the x. So you're going to take that and you're going to write an equation. 1 equals, I'm taking my x parts right now, and I wrote an equation, so now at this point I have to do my algebra. Multiply each side by 2. 2 equals, this cancels, -3 plus, whoops, that should have been down here. Now I'm going to move my -3 and I'm going to get 5 is my x part. And then I'm going to take this part here and I'm going to set it to my y part. And so I'm going to take -2 equals -8 plus y2 divided by 2. I'm going to times each side by 2. These cancel. -4 equals -8 plus y squared. I'm moving my -8, add 8, which gets me 4. So at this point I have a final answer. My midpoint is 5, 4. Right? I'm going to show you another way in class how to do it. I'm running out of time right now in the video, so I have to show you the other way to solve that during class time. But you do have your algebraic way, and I'll talk about the other way in class. So remind me about that, and you guys have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow in class.